Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on TCM. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Our look at classic horror movies continues with a picture featuring the performer who personified the horror genre in the late 50s and 60s, Julie Andrews. Can you imagine? Julie Andrews is back, but this time the hills are alive with the sound of the beating heart of the man Julie thought she killed and buried a decade before. Anyway, it's not Julie Andrews, it's Vincent Price. Up next, Price plays a French magistrate who kills a prisoner in self-defense and becomes possessed by the dead man's evil spirit. From director Reginald LaBorge in 1963, Diary of a Madman. The film is based on several stories by Guy de Maupassant. Price's career turn to horror films started with House of Wax in 1953 and continued in earnest with The Fly in '58. Then in 1960, he began a collaboration with producer Roger Corman that resulted in a string of low-budget horror films based on Edgar Allan Poe stories for American International Pictures. Diary of a Madman isn't from American International, but the art director is Daniel Haller, who worked with Price on House of Usher and The Pit and the Pendulum, among others. It shouldn't surprise anyone, but Vincent Price wasn't creepy or evil or demented or a madman. He was a well-known art expert and a cook with a wry sense of humor. His co-star, Nancy Kovac, remembered Price tickling her just before they shot a serious scene where he comes at her with a knife. Released by United Artists in 1963, also featuring Chris Warfield and Stephen Roberts, here's Vincent Price in Diary of a Madman. After completing Diary of a Madman, Vincent Price returned to American International Pictures, picking up right where he left off, making movies like The Haunted Palace, The Mask of the Red Death, and Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. His status as a horror film cult figure led Michael Jackson to use Price as the narrator of his Thriller video in 1983. Price later worked with director Tim Burton on two projects, Vincent, a short film about a little boy who wants to grow up to be Vincent Price, and Edward Scissorhands from 1990 starring Johnny Depp. Diary of a Madman was one of director Reginald LaBorge's final films. His career included a fair number of B pictures with characters like Joe Palooka and the Bowery Boys, but he also directed some horror films, The Black Sleep with Basil Rathbone and Voodoo Island with Boris Karloff. Up next, a horror movie from the director of the original Cat People. Stay with us.